Welcome to the Your Leadership Legacy podcast. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and I'm so excited to bring you this next podcast dedicated to you high performers out there who want to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, maybe your career, all of it. This podcast is all about being dedicated to transformation and being the best possible leader of yourself and others that you can be in order to create a legacy that lives on. Welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause. I am the founder and CEO of True You Teams. And here we go. Hey, everyone. It is Tina and Keri coming at you.
Good morning. Happy Saturday. Cheers.
Happy Saturday. Wait, coffee.
I know. That's so funny. You know what? I specifically grabbed this mug because you sent it to me, and it's the Empowered Women Empower Women.
And I did the same thing because this is the mug you sent to me saying, believe in yourself. We did not plan this.
No. And they kind of coordinate.
They do.
Which is kind of cute. But yeah, I went to reach another one, and then I was like, no, I got to do this one this morning.
Yes, and you empowered me even this morning.
That's the way we roll. This is why I've been doing a series on like who's in your corner.
Yeah.
This is exactly why it's so important to pick who's in your corner.
This is like example number 2 now of why you're in my corner. So let me give everybody the backdrop on this. So yesterday, Keri and I were talking, and Keri's like, hey, let's go do a live. Let's do it tomorrow. We said 9:00 tomorrow morning. Let's do it. Okay, we planned on it.
I just want to be clear. You said 9:00.
Oh, I said 9:00. Okay, that makes it even funnier. So 9:00, which Saturday morning at 9:00, if I would have been thinking, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
I know.
How often?
It was like, but I just rolled with it.
Right. So how often do we commit to things when we're not really committed? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
I was super committed to a live with you. And this morning, I woke up at 4:44. No lie. I woke up, I looked at my clock. It was 4:44. I was on fire. I had all this stuff in my head, and I immediately got into the doing. I was creating. If you've been on social media this morning, there's posts out there. There's reels out there. I was in it. And I got a text from you that said something to the effect of, I don't know, there was a little bit of like, I made the assumption that there was a little bit of hesitation because I knew that Keri had stuff to do. I know that you've got stuff to do with your kids, right?
Yes, I'm going to my alma mater for a sold out basketball game that's going to be incredible today. So I'm super excited.
Amazing. It's so fun to do that kind of stuff.
It is.
So anyway, in my head, I'm like, I'll give Keri that grace because I know she wants to spend time with her kids, and I haven't even showered yet. And it's like in 20 minutes. This was 20 minutes ago, literally 20 minutes ago. And I haven't showered. So all these things in my head, like, made it okay to send back to Keri. No, I'm good. We can go tomorrow.
Or Monday.
It's all good. And I'll let you tell the rest of the story.
No, because you were on the receiving end.
I know. So my phone rings. And she's like, what? You got a retreat to fill like in a week. Why are you putting this on? And I was like, well, I just thought maybe you wanted to spend more time and blah, 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 blah. And I haven't taken a shower. And she's like, Tina, this is Keri's favorite thing to do. Tina.
You know what I loved is this is the thing. And this is something that I love about my kids is like, you'll set a precedent or you'll say something or whatever. And then they have evidence or they have something to use exactly when you don't want them to use it, but they're right. And they do it all the time.
Yeah.
And so for you,
I'm like your child.
I know. I specifically said, because you hadn't showered yet.
I still haven't.
You were like, it was like what we look like.
Mm-hmm. And we looking good.
Yeah.
The looking good thing.
We do this, right? So we feel like we're not ready. We feel like we're not presentable. And so we don't do the things that like really are going to move our goals forward. Like all the reasons why we create delay in our life. So look at where you're doing that. And so here's what's perfect is I said, you've created a reel that you can be Zoom ready in 2 minutes.
Yeah, some of my reels, I'm a little crusty.
And so I was like, don't give me excuses because, and I said, and like, I'll be honest, you guys, there's a part of me that was like, I've got such a people pleaser in me. And so there was part of me that just wanted to be like, okay, no big deal. She wants to do it. She's the one that picked the time. So she wants to do it. And then I was like, no. And so I called her up and I was like, we're doing this right now. You were like, well, what about later today? And I was like, what about still at 9:00? Like,
okay, bye. I gotta go put some mascara on.
but the reason that we say this, you guys, is that so often we put off the thing we need to do. And many times the thing we need to do is to take a reset, take a break, take a pause, and really get reconnected into why we're doing what we're doing, and is what we're doing actually moving us forward. And sometimes we don't realize that taking a break, taking a pause, and looking at that is actually going to move us forward faster than when we don't, and we just keep doing what we've been doing because we believe churning is going to be the answer. Right. So two things I want to share on that is that this is why even in resets we need accountability. like this is why. And this is why if you're coming to this event on Friday, bring your friends so that you can be accountable together. Like, this is incredible to do with your friends. This is why you need people like this around you. I was listening to a podcast a couple of days ago, and I had to laugh because it was Lori Harder. It wasn't Lori Harder's podcast. It was a friend of hers, like one of her besties, that I was listening to her podcast. And she was talking about, so both of them are multimillionaires, have multiple companies, you know, all the things, you know, all the live things going on. And so, but they're no different than us. And this is why this is so incredibly important. She was having this conversation where they've decided that they're going to go on a friend run like once a week. And so they go out and they run, and they're like, and we're not missing it. We don't let each other cancel, no matter what comes up, all the things. And as they were running, they had this a discussion about how if they, I'm stumbling over my words, and you must need more coffee this morning. But as they were running, they were having this conversation about where they weren't showing up, and both of them had not been on social media, and both of them had kind of put that off lately, and just all of that. And so they both said, okay, we're going to do 30 days. And I just laughed that, like, you know, we do those challenges now, and they're doing that. We're going to do 30 days. We're both going to show up no matter what, no matter how we're looking, no matter what's happening, no matter what, every single day, we're going to show up and post something on social media.
Because it's so easy. I mean, the thing of it is that even just taking you and I, right? Like, there's days that I'm in it and you're not. There's days you're in it and I'm not. And what I love about it is that when you have that accountability, right? Like, in my head, it's like I was working on the actual retreat, but in my head, I was like in this other space. I was off in the drift. I was off in the doing, and I wasn't in the being. And so, like, it's so easy to get off track like that. Even as I'm planning a retreat that's called Reset, that's to teach people to reset. It's just we all reset, right? And sometimes it takes us 3 seconds, like it just did with you and me, how you were able to like reset me. And here I am 15-20 minutes later, here we are, and we're getting it done, and we're doing what we committed to, I'm doing what I committed to, what my word was. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the times in my head, I had a story, and I totally believed that story, and there was nothing wrong with that story, and it's totally cool. I wasn't seeing it. So what I love about what you're saying, Keri, is that accountability partner allows you to see what you can't see in the moment because you're too caught up in it. That's what you did for me this morning, for sure.
And why we talked, we joked about when we taped the podcast last week, that we joked about how, and I'm actually serious, that like there gets to be a button on the wall. It's a power button that like you intentionally are resetting, and you're like really starting to see what that is, because you're going to make choices on this day that you're committing to. And then you're going to want an accountability partner that's going to hold you to that commitment, because those girls that I was just telling you about that were running down the street and made this commitment, they were like, day 1, they post, day 2, they post, and they're texting each other. Good job.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like we did yesterday. Right.
I know. Day 3. She was like, I was laying in bed. It was night. I didn't post. I hadn't posted. I was like, I'll just do it tomorrow. And she said the next thing she knew, Lori posted and told a story about how she didn't want to post, and she did it anyway.
Yeah.
And then she tagged her. And so it came across her notifications. So then she sat there and she was like, crap, I still got to post. And so then she posted, and then she felt relief, because she was like, I committed to my word. And how often, you guys, do you, and I think this is so important, because we're so great at making commitments to other people.
So true. Yeah. You were supporting me in this. So it was super easy for me to back out of it, because you were supporting me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what happens is, and what will happen on the reset day, and why this is so critical, is you are going to make decisions. You're going to see what is important to you. You're going to see through a new lens. You're going to be reminded of what matters. And you're going to make commitments at the end of the day that you are committing to yourself and how you want to live and how you want to show up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And then on day 3, you're going to be like, and so what's so powerful about this day is, one is we're going to give you the tools. We're going to give you the examples of where we naturally go off track. We're going to give you several resources so that you can stay on track.
Yeah.
Tina's the master of making sure that you have all of those tools in your toolbox. She loves being able to have multiple things to go to, and she's going to make sure you've got it all and you're equipped. And so when you make that commitment to yourself on Friday, when you attend, and by the way, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, go get it. Like, it is $99 right now. The link is below. Go get it. It is $99. If you happen to have joined the Grace on Fire community recently, you get it for free, by the way. So check your email and make sure you are signed up. So did you drop the link below?
I haven't yet.
Okay. So grab it and invite a friend. You can come virtually. You can come in person. Up in Wisconsin, for those of you watching that might be in my network. I'm driving to Wisconsin. Jump in my car. Let's go. It is on Friday. It's going to be incredible. But you're going to make these commitments to yourself. And this gets to be the year that, even when you, like, we think we're not supposed to have these doubts, we're like all in when it happens, but like, there's going to be moments. And so you're going to have all the tools to go back to, but this is the year you actually get to move forward on what matters to you. And this reset is the day for you to choose different.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I love that you mentioned the different modalities, Keri, because the whole vision of reset, here's the thing, no matter what level you're at with transformation, no matter where you're at, obviously we still go into the drift. We still get distracted. We still need the ability, or need to create the ability to reset. And so my vision for the day was to bring in all kinds of different modalities, bring in all kinds of different experts, and really have like almost like a one-stop shop, whether you're online with us or whether you're in person with us, to really allow somebody to start to understand what it looks like when I'm in that state, right? This morning, I didn't recognize in the moment that I was in it. And so how do we recognize in the moment when we're in it? It might be somebody else, it might be another tool, but yeah, you mentioned the toolbox. I picture myself as Wonder Woman, right? The tools, what tool are we pulling out?
You and Wonder Woman.
I love Wonder Woman, I know. Everyone's Wonder Woman. It's like
Wonder Woman.
in that moment when it's time to reset, being aware of it, and then where's the tool? What tool do I need right now? And we talked about a couple of those on your podcast. But yeah, I'm super excited. We've got all kinds of amazing speakers and coaches and everything coming in. And I've got a day that is jam-packed. You will walk away with all kinds of tools you can immediately implement. You will walk away with a support system that is exactly what you see right here. So that when that day 3 happens and you're like, and you're feeling it, and you're stuck and you're in it, that there's a way for you to really pull back out of it quicker and faster. The idea about shifting and resetting is quicker and faster, because the quicker we can shift and reset, 15 minutes, right? From I'm not going to do this to here we are. The quicker we do that, the quicker we get out of it and we get back into forward motion. And so that's the whole idea of the day, is really supporting people to learn what it looks like to be aware and get into forward action moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super excited. So I'm going to drop the link as soon as we get done here. It's not in there yet.
Okay, awesome. It's so funny that you say that, because I just sent out an email to my email list, and on Saturdays I just do like a message of the week or something like that. And the story that I told was my very first coach that I ever had. Like, it was my first introduction. And I remember, you guys, spending it was $900 total for first ever one-on-one coach.
Beautiful.
Now, $900, like, it can be a lot. It just depends on your, perspective. But at that time, for me, investing one-on-one coaching for however many months at $900 was like, ooh, why would I ever invest in that?
Yeah.
And even $99 is like,
yeah,
like when you're spending it on yourself and you're not used to, sometimes it's not actually the amount of money as much as it's the fact that I'm making a choice to spend this money on me, not on my kids, not on their vacation, not on their food, not on their, not on my husband, not on whatever. I'm actually spending this for me. And so if some of that is going through your mind, it is normal when it's not something you have invested in before. And I just remember being in like, I'm actually doing this. But the things that he taught me, the tools in the toolbox that he taught me over those course of months that I worked with him, have stuck with me for the last 9 years. It's been about 9 years. And it was the beginning and the foundation of then what I started saying yes to afterwards. Yeah. And one of the analogies that he taught me was, we can get really hard on ourselves when we get triggered, when we react and those types of things. And we've got patterns that we naturally go to. So, maybe, not saying I've ever yelled at my kids when I've been
Sorry, it's true. That was a big realization for me during transformation.
Yeah, me too. I told a whole story on a stage one time about like a pinnacle moment, because we get in it. We don't take the resets. We don't take care of ourselves. We're not doing those things. And then who gets the brunt of it? The people that we love the most.
Right.
So it was a critical moment for me. And then we have a domino effect that happens. And we act in ways that we're not proud of. We say things we're not proud of, or we close off, whatever it may be.
The same,
all the things. And then it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Mm-hmm. So then when we start getting the tools, what happens is, when it happens, then we start shaming and blaming and guilting ourselves because, I had the tools and now I'm not perfect. Why is this still happening? Yeah. So one of the things that he taught me was, the goal is not for, imagine a line of dominoes. Yes, Rocky.
Hello, Rocky.
I know. Rocky's wanting to play with the dominoes. Imagine a line of dominoes. The goal is not for the dominoes never to fall down. Like, think about if you had dominoes and they never fell down, how boring that would be. So
it wouldn't be dominoes.
It wouldn't be dominoes, yeah. And so our life is not meant that it never falls down. Mm-hmm. The goal for us, especially as we start getting the tools and start applying them in life, is that they don't go as far down as they used to. And so the ripple effect of like the backwards motion doesn't go as far you catch it quicker, your perspective sees it differently, and it only goes so far. So the damage is less. The time to stand it all back up is less. And then you can start going into forward momentum again, like you just said. And we actually need both, because that is the duality in order to make something work. And we're so busy defending and trying to make it perfect. And then when it doesn't, it goes whoosh, all the way down, because all of it's built up. Yeah. So thinking about the fact that the tools that we're giving you is so that you can catch your dominoes faster and faster, and then start celebrating yourself, and also having accountability with friends to be a support system in your dominoes, so that instead of 22 that takes you days to repair, you start catching your domino at 111, and then you start catching it at 88, and then you start catching it at 76, and you're like, oh wow, I took a breath, I paused, I took a breath, I chose joy.
TBJ.
And this ripple effect didn't happen. And then you start having moments that you're like, wow, I'm actually proud of myself in the way that I handled that. Wow, I'm actually proud of myself that I took a reset and I didn't go all the way to burnout. Wow, I'm actually proud of myself because I called a friend and allowed myself to vent there rather than saying something I shouldn't to my kids or something like that. And I allowed myself to respond instead of react.
Yeah. The celebration is so important. So important, because I look back on my journals, Keri, from like 7 years ago when I was journaling right at the beginning of the transformation. And even sometimes when the memories come up in the posts, right? We get memories every day of our posts. I'll like 10 years ago, and I'll be like, oh my God, like I would post stuff that was like, it's just crazy to go back and listen to and see how you showed up. And the difference between how I used to show up then and how I show up today is much, much different. And I have not changed the tools that I use. I'm actually using tools now, so I can shift faster. So it's exactly what you're saying. And it's exactly the reason why I'm doing this reset retreat, because it's all about resetting. Imagine a world, Keri, where we all could just reset, boom. Oh, I'm stuck, boom, reset, boom, reset, boom, reset. And we're all just moving forward and in flow. And it would solve so many issues and so many problems. So everybody gets to have transformation. Everybody gets to learn how to reset on a dime. Everybody gets that. So I'm going to post the link below. I have actually, if you're listening to this and you're like, I really would love to go, and that money thing is an issue, I have an amazing leader who donated 3 tickets. I have 2 of those tickets left, so there's still 2 tickets out there. DM me if you want one of those tickets. Everybody gets to be there that wants to be there. That is my commitment. So
yes. And two things. One is you're having yoga.
We do. We have so much. So we have yoga. We've got.
So it's not just like I'm sitting and learning all day.
No, we've got where there's going to be music and dancing and yoga and group consciousness and sound healing and different speakers. Keri, you're one of our speakers. You're going to be there. Keri and I are going to talk a little bit about our story and how we met, and just, how we have supported each other through the years. This was kind of a sneak peek at it. But yeah, and there's going to be there's a few vendors that are going to be there to really share the stuff that they have. Again, the ability to have all modalities, access to all modalities, access to all tools is really important from a mind, body, and soul perspective. And so we're going to really dig into what that looks like. It's going to be just a combination of a lot of I guarantee that you will walk away reset for sure, but like, oh my God, that
my name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out our programs and events at trueyouteams.com. And until next time, make it an amazing day.
For application over and over and over again, and you implement immediately.
Yeah.
And you'll start building the network of the people in your life just like this, that I can tell you there is no way I would be where I am now if it did not have the foundational friends support system that I do now. I did not know that this kind of support system existed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, and the reason for the 1-day retreat is because, I mean, if we go all the way back to the beginning, Keri, even though we didn't meet at that small retreat, there was a retreat that we were both at. It was the very first retreat I had ever gone to. It was very similar to the concept of what I'm putting on next Friday. And it changed everything for me. It like opened up everything. And it really, I saw the possibility at that retreat. And so because my transformation has created so much possibility in my life, I've dedicated my life to being able to create that for others. And so that's what next Friday is all about. So trust, make the leap, invest in yourself. Just do it. If you're at all interested or thinking about it, or that voice is right there, just take the plunge, trust that it is going to be a day that you will not forget.
So I just want to speak into the one person listening or the multiple people listening that in this moment is thinking to themselves, but I don't know that I can take the 1 day off. I've got so much to do. I don't know that I can take the 1 day off. And I know that you're familiar with this.
I was just there this morning.
So even that, like, speak into that, because I know that from my past career as well, all the things that we stay in it because I've got too much to do.
Yeah.
There's a fear there. Can you speak into that person right now that's questioning?
Yeah. I want to, so this morning, I'm going to go back to this morning, right? I was zoned in. I was in my element. I was I was on fire in that regard. I knew that this live, I mean, in my head, I know that I had given Keri my word. I said I was going to be there. I wanted to be there. But in my head, I would like all these excuses started coming up, right? I was in it. I needed to have that reset. And so what happens in that moment, it's like in the moment, we tell ourselves a story, and that story may or may not be fact. And so if you're like, oh, I really want to go to that, then that's your soul calling you to come to this. It's your soul calling you. And what we do is we go, oh, I got this and I got that and I got this, and there's no way I can do that. And so we're denying ourselves of what our soul is calling us to when we do that, and we're ignoring it. That's being in the drift. That's when we need the reset, because the reset brings us back to when you just take that time for yourself and just block out all of the noise. And that's what this day is. It's just being able to just block out all the noise, because if you're thinking I'm too busy, I'm going to tell you right now that the noise has got you. The noise has got you. And so this day is about being able to learn how to not let the noise get you. And when the noise does get you, because it always will, it did with me this morning, no matter how many tools we have in our backpack, the noise is always going to be there, because that's the world that we're living in today. How do you immediately become aware of that and not let that, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to do this and I got to do that, get the best of you when your soul knows that this is where you get to be? So listen, so it's about listening to your soul. It's about listening to what keeps coming up. If you keep seeing the stuff over and over again, and you're seeing signs and it's coming up and there's that voice in your head, like a lot of the times we push it down, we let it go. We're like, oh, it's just noise, it's just noise, it's just noise. No, if it keeps coming up, it's trying to tell you, like your own soul is trying to tell you something. And so we get to like let go of the noise and just listen to that. My soul knew that this is exactly where I needed to be this morning. My soul knew that. It was all the noise that was trying to tell me different. So the question I would ask.
No, go ahead.
Soul knows. So the question I would ask anybody who's in that spot, like you have said, is like, just take a minute to pause and take a minute to say, what do I really want right here? If I really want to be there and something's telling me not to, is it fear? Like, what is it? Like, get underneath what that is and really get honest with yourself about what you really want. And if what you really want is to be here, then be here. Make it happen. Commit to yourself, invest in yourself, because I was 46 years old and I would have stayed in that drift and I would have stayed in the noise forever if I would not have attended a retreat like this. I would have stayed there forever. So this is a safe space that I'm creating so that people who are in that position can come and learn how to reset so that they don't have to stay in the noise. They don't have to stay feeling burnt out and stuck and unhappy or whatever that might look like. And again, even when, I mean, I consider myself super happy and I still get stuck. I got stuck this morning. And so if you're in that camp, come and learn how to get unstuck quicker is really what it's about. So it's about trusting your soul, trusting what keeps coming up. If it's coming up, it's for a reason.
Yeah, I love that. And I just want to say, we often keep putting off, like, I can listen later.
Yeah,
I'll do it the next time.
Mhm.
And how often and how long have you been putting something off like that?
Yeah.
Same thing goes for when we commit to our health and we do it for a bit and then life gets in the way and we continue to put it
Mhm.
off because we're too busy. We've got other things that are taking priority, all those things. This is a moment, you guys. Like, this is a very critical moment that there is a choice of whether or not you are ready. And this isn't just for this retreat, but this is a choice moment for someone.
Mm-hmm.
This is for, in general, you will not have your life be a priority until you choose it to be. Your life, the way that it runs, will not become a priority until you choose it to be, which means you're going to have to make a pattern interruption, which means you're going to have to be uncomfortable, which means you're going to have to go do the thing, go be uncomfortable. And sometimes that uncomfortable is taking a pause because we don't let ourselves live there because distraction is more more comfortable than actually saying yes to what we really want, because that's where we're afraid.
Yeah.
And so somebody here listening is like, oh crap. And so, and like, honestly, it reminds me of the retreat that you went on in Costa Rica, because it wasn't one day, it was, can I actually make the space for 7 days? And you had some resistance. We talked about it on the podcast. So anybody that wants to go listen to that, there was some resistance there. And there is a place that we're actually scared of, that is space, that what we really want emerges. And that's your soul calling, saying like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you. And here's what's so beautiful about that. You thought you didn't have time to be there for 7 days because, and so for those of you that are like, I don't have time to be there for a day, what happened was this retreat emerged.
Yeah. Yeah. When I literally, if you haven't watched the podcast, I literally called Keri from Houston in meltdown.
I'm not coming. We have a problem.
I know, right? I'm not coming. I'm going to miss my husband and my dog too much. I mean, it was just stupid stuff, right? Like just stupid stuff.
Real.
And I was resisting. What's that?
But it so felt real for you in that moment.
It was super real. In the moment, it was super real. I was like, 7 days. How can I be gone for 7 days? And honestly, what the real thing was, how can I be disconnected for 7 days?
I feel that.
That's what it was when I dug deep. And so calling Keri, I'm wanting Keri to say, it's okay, go home. I understand. And she didn't. She just sat there and she didn't say anything. And so but it helped. It supported me to work myself through it. I just needed to work myself through it. And I got there, and about day 3 or 4 is when magic started happening. Like the downloads are like, and that's actually where this retreat was born. So when we give ourselves the time, when we invest in ourselves, when we gift ourselves the time to actually dig deep and figure out what we really want and how we're going to create that, like you create magic in these things. That's exactly what they're meant for. So yeah, I feel like we could talk about it all day.
I know. And I will actually say you actually get time back, because the things that you're feeling piled up on, the things that are making you feel like you don't have as much time, all of those things, there's something that shifts during this day. There's something that opens up for you this day to start seeing it different, to start approaching it different, to even let some stuff go. You make some changes and you start getting time back. And I think that's what's incredibly important is if you think you don't have time, you absolutely get to be there. So link is down in
down below.
Friday. Right. It is Friday. Join us Friday.
It is next Friday. Keri's driving down. We are going to go 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night. And here's a beautiful thing. A big vision for this retreat is that, yep, we're going to do it in person here in Madison, Wisconsin, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. And we get to model how online experiences can be just as transformational and just as special as well. I've been in them. I've done them. I know that they can be. So if you are like, gosh, I wish I could be in person, but I can't, sign up, because online, the team of people that we've got supporting us, even from an online perspective as well, I guarantee transformation. So it's going to be just, if you're in for it and you're open to it and you're ready for it, this is the place to be for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The team that you've got supporting this and the speakers and the amount of women coming in to support this event is like off the charts. Like what you've assembled is magic. It is truly magic. So I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited to hug you in person soon. And I'm excited to see you watching that is going to be there online or in person. And if you're watching and you are going to be there, drop us a comment and say, I'll be there. I'll see. We want to know. We want to know.
All right. Sounds good. Anything else? What are we forgetting? I don't think anything. Have an amazing weekend. Have an amazing day with your boys.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go take a shower now.
Awesome. 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 Enjoy the shower.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.